Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Welcome to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet, your fearless host, entrepreneur, business strategist, and speaker. And I'm here because I believe that business, when we come together, iron sharpens iron. And when entrepreneurs share what's working and what's successful, and maybe even what's not, we're able to learn and grow from one another. And as we do that, we elevate our game. And as entrepreneurs, when we elevate our game, we elevate our businesses, the impact is felt not only by ourselves and our family and our teams, but by our communities and ultimately our world. I'm here today with a fellow business strategist of 30 years experience. She is the founder of Peak to Profit, Jennifer Drago. We are excited to have you here today, Jennifer. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here as well.
So Jennifer, tell me, you've been in the industry for a very long time, and we were talking backstage behind the scenes about what's happening right now and in the economy, and a lot of business owners are fearful, they're worried, they want to pull back, or maybe they don't want to jump into entrepreneurship because they're worried about what's happening externally. What is your take on that? Is now the time for opportunity? How do we learn to survive and thrive even despite recession or economic downturns?
Well, one of the things that we definitely want to do is always look for the opportunity. Doesn't matter whether we're in a growth period or in a recession. That's the mantra of every business owner, or it should be. We should always be constantly surveying our environment, looking at our own internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as opportunities and threats. And it's really those opportunities in a time like this that entrepreneurs should be looking for and should be capitalizing on. It could be a new program, a new service, a new customer segment to focus on, a new geography or market, but those opportunities are going to be out there. So it's a great time to have eyes wide open.
I absolutely agree with you. And so we were talking about this. How is it that the entrepreneurs that you're working with, the businesses that you're working with, are able to find the gaps that they can create those products and services? Like, what is it that you're sharing with them? Or what kind of strategy can those who are maybe watching this today, what can they go through so they can find those opportunities?
Well, I think it's really an opportunity first to understand their consumer and what's going on in their world, their clients. And honestly, many entrepreneurs at the outset of their businesses have an opportunity to better describe their value proposition. And their value proposition is who they serve, what their pain points are, what value you're going to bring to them as the entrepreneur or the business, and why you're different from your competitors. And if you just take a look at that, and we can do that, we should do that over and over again. Looking at your ideal client and your value proposition is not a one-time game. It's something that you have to do over and over again. I like to do it at least quarterly in my business. And by doing that, and again, in a recession time when things are changing, you're going to see those unique opportunities to pivot and to be places that your competitors aren't, or ways to set yourself apart.
And I know that you have been forming this, you've been creating this course specifically for entrepreneurs, so that if they are thinking about getting into this, that they can really kind of dial in. And I think you have a workshop coming up on how to dial in your avatar and your unique selling proposition and your value prop so that you can actually start to bring that interest in. Can you share a little bit about that process?
Yes, I call it the roadmap to revenue. And again, early entrepreneurs, and it's not just for early entrepreneurs, let's be honest, because I just said we have to re-examine this time and time again. But getting clear on that value proposition, your unique selling proposition, and then being able to translate that into products, services, offers, depending on what niche you serve, and being able to monetize that quickly. So early entrepreneurs, I find, and there's many of them now, right? Because through the pandemic, lots of businesses were created, and lots of folks are struggling right now because they haven't quite got to the revenue level that they expected. And so this is, again, an opportunity to really start getting those offers out there, monetizing first and foremost what your client needs most and what's easiest for you to deliver, and then leveraging that revenue to build other offers and products as it makes sense to serve your client segment. So that's what the Roadmap to Revenue workshop is going to focus on July 26th.
I'm really excited about this. And you speak to something that we talk about a lot in the industry, right? It's the quickest path to revenue. And so many times when we come into entrepreneurs, especially in the consulting space, we want to create something and we want to develop a product that's an ongoing source of revenue, and we miss the quickest path to revenue. So how important would you say it is, especially in service-based industry, to find that quickest path to revenue in a time like now when lending is getting harder? It's getting harder to find money and capital. It was really easy even last year to raise money, and now that lending is tightening down, things are tightening down, we really do have to have a focus on profitability. So how important is quickest path to revenue and really having a rock solid offer and value prop for your niche?
It's so important. And as we mentioned, those entrepreneurs that started in the pandemic and aren't where they want to be, they are struggling now more than ever with this, skyrocketing inflation. So they need that, rock solid offer, as you put it. And some people don't always know what that is to begin, and so they hold back and they wait. And the reality is, the faster you can get an offer on the table and see if it sticks, see if it lands, see if it's what your customer truly needs, tweak it, re-offer it, you're actually growing each time that you're putting an offer out. And so we want entrepreneurs not to wait. We want them to take action and, find the right offer. And again, you mentioned service-based businesses. Oftentimes, the service-based businesses, the easiest path to revenue is the one-to-one work. So I'm a consultant, I'm a business coach. Those are things I can offer to my clientele tomorrow, even if I don't have a course or a membership or anything else to offer in that regard. I can get to work bringing money in the door and then potentially hire some team members or contract for some services that get those other offers off the ground faster.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because it's real. It's relevant right now because so many people are sitting on the sidelines, and many of our viewers may be in corporate America. They may be executives. They may be thinking about starting their own thing, either as a side hustle or transitioning from corporate into entrepreneurship, and they're waiting. They're like, well, the economy's not great. Maybe I need to wait right now, but that's not the time. This is the time of opportunity, and this is where we can create our own economy. So that's a mindset shift. And I know you and I talk about mindset a whole lot. What is something that someone who is in that risk-averse mindset and they're afraid to put something out because it's not perfect, because that's something that we hear a lot. Analysis paralysis, something's not perfect. They don't want to put it out until it's perfect. And we talk about imperfect action. What is something that we can offer our viewers and our listeners today as a mindset shift if they're worried about the economy, that they can see the opportunity? Like how can they reframe that?
Yeah, so your question is great, and I just want to point out that those fears come up every single day, recession or not. And so that's the first thing we can tell ourselves is we're always going to have a little resistance to things that are new, to things that are outside our comfort zone, but that's where we grow, right? So one of the things I do as a consultant and as a business coach is when I work with clients and there's a clear path of action, a clear strategy, and they are waiting, they're holding back. One of the things that I help them do is understand what the blocks are. And many times, as you said, it's a fear of failure. Sometimes it can be a fear of success. Sometimes it's a fear of being seen or a fear of rejection. Those fears they're common, and every single one of us entrepreneurs experiences it from time to time. And so the way to really think through that, it's unconscious programming that you're reprogramming in your conscious, and you're telling yourself the truth, which is, I have this expertise. I am the best person to offer this service. And it's that constant affirmation. And if you can't do it and help yourself, I would say hire a coach who can help you see the strategy and then hold you accountable on that road and keep you focused in a positive way.
I think that you just hit the nail on the head, and you said something too. You said hire a coach, and I just I know you have a coach. I have multiple coaches as well. How important is it, as someone, we are in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. How important is that objective perspective and that external support and accountability that a coach offers? As someone in the industry, you are a coach, you're a strategist, you're an expert in this space, you've been doing it for 30 years. Like, what is it that a coach offers that helps you to keep going forward? Because I can speak to mine, but I really would like to hear your perspective. Like, what is it that does for you? Because you already know the things, and we do this and we serve our clients in that way.
Yeah. Well, what I found as a business owner, and it was a little surprising to me, right? Because I do hold myself out as a strategy expert. One of the things that hit me right smack in the head in the beginning was, I can't see my business objectively, nor can anyone. And so having another educated perspective, and especially one that comes with operational experience, strategy experience, they're going to help a business owner get further faster, right? We're always looking for that shiny object, that magic bullet, the magic pill that's going to help us grow our business quicker. And what a lot of entrepreneurs do with everything that's available on the internet these days is they consume. They have social media coming at them, all these distractions. And the reality is they need a clear path and they need to put blinders on. And that's one of the things that a coach really helps do, is helps them see the path and then holds them accountable to that path. And is there as a mentor and a guide to answer questions, to help them all the way along the way. And so that's why I have a coach, and that's why I think all business owners could really benefit from having a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely concur. For me, I can't see myself objectively at all. Mm-hmm. Things that I think are going terribly, I get feedback that, oh, no, that's what you need to do more of. So, I think that we all have that, because as entrepreneurs, let's be real, we're high performers. You cannot be an entrepreneur if you are not a high-performing human being, because we have to do so much more than if we were just a W-2. Like, we wear all the hats and we have the ultimate responsibility. And so for me, coaching gives me that objective perspective. It's like they pull that 40,000-foot view and can show me all the things that I'm not seeing. You know, I was in sports medicine for 20 years, and everybody works out what they can see in the mirror, but then they forget their back and they end up with an injury. Well, we can't see 360 degrees even with mirrors, and so we all hired our own coaches for that. And the same applies in business.
Yeah, and the one thing that I would add, and you just hit the nail on another head, which is, as an entrepreneur and often a solopreneur, we have so many things to do. And sometimes we put more things to do on our to-do list than we should. And so that's another place where a coach can really help you prioritize what actions are going to help you grow your business versus what is not really important right now.
Absolutely. You know, something that's really fun in a lot of the business owners that I've worked with is they like to do the behind the scenes things. They like to do working on the website, working on the copy, working on all the things that are not actually revenue generating, and they wait on the revenue generation. So I think it's really excellent that we started this conversation with path to profitability and path to revenue, quickest path to revenue, and then leveraging that, because we are in a shift. You know, it was easy money before, easy capital before, and now we have to prove profitability. And so I think that the mindset is key, the coaching is key, because that can help give the objective perspective and keep you on the path so that you can get there further faster. So I really like what you said about that. So I want to hit another aspect, if that's okay with you, and that's, as coaches, it's not just about the strategy and just about the operations, it's about the entrepreneur as well. Can you speak a little bit about how important it is to make sure that we're the best human beings in our business as entrepreneurs, and what role coaching plays in that?
You bet. And you and I have a similar perspective on this, which I really appreciate. So my former career was in the healthcare world, health and wellness. And so I have a strong bias that if you are not taking care of yourself, you are the health of your business. And so you have to take care of your own health and that's both mental, physical, emotional health. It's all those things combined, and you have to be the best version of yourself in order to serve your clients, to be clear, to have the focus that you want to have, to be truly productive. It really starts with your own mental and physical health. So I focus on that a lot. It's usually something that comes out in one of our very first coaching calls when I'm working with a new client. I ask them about what's going on in their personal life. Are they eating right? Are they sleeping? Are they moving their body every single day? Are their relationships healthy? That way I can kind of understand what's going on in the non-business sides, because whatever's going on in the non-business side is absolutely going to affect the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I believe that what we do in one area, whether it's our health or our personal relationships or our business, we do in all areas of our life. So what I've found too, and let me know if this is your experience, because I think this is very valuable for our viewers. If we're stuck in our business and it's so hard to move forward, and we're also stuck in our health, sometimes addressing the stuckness in our health and making one small change in the health stops that blockage in our business as well. Have you found that to be true?
I have, and I love the concept of a keystone habit. So the keystone is the top stone in an arch, and it's the most important one. And I think anybody can benefit from understanding, one keystone habit generally around your health that's going to kind of have dominoes and pay dividends in all ways. I was working with a coaching client just this week who doesn't have the best sleep hygiene. She loves to stay up late until she can barely keep her eyes open, sometimes falls asleep on the couch instead of getting good rest every single day. And in her workday then, she's bringing mental fog, sometimes some stress. By the end of the week, she's so tired that she can't even have date night with her husband. So she's making sleep her keystone habit, and that will pay dividends in other ways going forward.
Absolutely. And if you're not sleeping and you're having that mental fog, guess what happens in your business? You make the wrong decisions.
Yes.
You're not clear. You can't move forward. And then you get decision fatigue and you just can't make a decision. And that's when we get really stuck. So I think that's really important. If you're at home and you're listening, what is your keystone habit? What is the keystone habit that you're going to choose moving forward? The small change that you're going to do that's going to elevate your health and your life so that you can show up the best in your business. We do have to take a quick break, but we'll be back after these messages. Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Gaudet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Hey there, thanks for taking time to watch this video. My name is Sherman On. My purpose is to leave a legacy by positively impacting others. I've chosen my career to work at Hotelling Insurance Services. We are a nationally licensed and fully independent risk management family office. Hotelling Insurance Services specializes in developing robust protection strategies to meet the unique needs of our diverse clientele. With over 20 years of experience in navigating the distinct exposures that arise in advanced risk mitigation planning, through our all-encompassing approach, we develop high-level estate and business solutions, employee benefit programs, and property and casualty strategies. If we can be of benefit to you, your family, your business, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on my cell phone at 262-271-4411. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing your story. Have yourself a fantastic day. Sherm's out.
Did you know your clients will decide to do business with you and your company within 15 seconds of browsing your website, your social media, and your digital footprint? In addition, your company's reviews will play a major role in client retention and future referrals. Hi, I'm Mike Moran with Digital Dimensions, a WSI agency. We use the latest digital marketing expertise, technology, tools to meet all your company's online marketing challenges. Digital Dimensions is your one-stop solution for social media and content marketing to website rankings and everything in between. Additionally, we have the know-how, knowledge of current trends, and effective SEO technologies, as well as cutting-edge tools to bring leads fast and effectively. Most importantly, we deliver innovative digital marketing strategies customized to your company's exact needs. Take a decisive step. Combine our powerful tools with your company's products and services and increase your revenue now.
Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet. If you are just tuning in, you are going to want to catch the first part of this episode. You can do that by going to nowmedia.tv and selecting the Power CEOs show, because we have been talking about how to set yourself on the quickest path to revenue so that you can see more money coming in and leverage that to grow your business. We all know we're facing tough economic times, tougher than we've seen in quite some time actually, but now is the time for opportunity. So we also talked about how to find that opportunity, how to determine what your strengths are and mitigate your risks and find the opportunities so that you can grow and create your own economy no matter what's happening in the greater economy. So still with me in studio, I've got Jennifer Drago, and we're going to just continue this conversation because it's been really good. And before the break, we were discussing how important it is to be healthy as human beings, as entrepreneurs, because if we don't have our health, for example, Jennifer was sharing her client who was sleep deprived, and so we would have brain fog. We wouldn't make the best decisions. We wouldn't have excellent speed of implementation, which is linked to success. So let's carry on that conversation about what are the practices, Jennifer, that you personally have to keep your mental health in order, to keep your mindset positive, even when we're in challenges right now, because a lot of people are coming and they're like, well, it's stressful. I'm really concerned about the economy. Is this the right time? And there's a lot of fear. So how are you personally mitigating your fears, moving through your fears? And what are the practices that you have that maybe you offer also to your clients so that you can keep moving forward no matter what is thrown at you?
Well, I love this question. And I actually have quite a few that I do. Most of them are part of my morning routine, to be honest with you. So I start every day with meditation, generally about 15 to 20 minutes of meditation. I have found that that brings me so much clarity and serenity throughout my day. So that's something that I started, when I was still in the corporate world. But at the time, I was experiencing a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And it turned my life around. People around me said, this is amazing, keep doing this. So meditation, journaling, I journal every day. Sometimes it's shorter than others, but one of the things that I really practice in my journaling is gratitude. It's gratitude for my physical health, for my family, for the beauty in nature, whatever I'm grateful for that particular day. And I really feel that that's part of our positive mindset, is keeping that gratitude top of mind each and every day in our personal lives, but also in our businesses. We have to be really grateful for the opportunities that we have. Another habit that I use every single day, and I would consider this my keystone habit, is exercise. And I like to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. The other days I'm swimming, I'm hiking, I'm out walking. I live in Arizona, so it's, a little too hot to walk outside these days. But I love just to be active, and I feel that that helps my physical health, obviously, but it's so huge for my mental health and keeping that clarity and that focus each and every day. So those are some of my personal habits. Another quick one that I want to share around mindset as it relates to my business, and this comes from Dan Sullivan. He's the founder of Strategic Coach, and Benjamin Hardy is a psychologist, PhD psychologist, who's written a number of books. They wrote a book called The Gap and the Gain together, and the importance of really focusing not on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, but the gain that you make each and every day. So if I'm looking back at today, I document what accomplishments I had each day. When I'm going back 30 days, I'm looking at my dashboards and saying, here's what I have accomplished. And I can see so much achievement. And what that brings to me is confidence, motivation, and satisfaction, all key to keep going. And so I really preach that to all my entrepreneurs, is celebrate your wins and do it every single day. We don't have cheerleaders to do that for us. We are our own bosses for a reason, but that means we have to be our own cheerleaders. So I really love this concept of celebrating your wins.
I think that is so incredibly important too, because a lot of times we talk about goals and we set goals, and as entrepreneurs, we set very high goals for ourselves. We set yearly revenue goals, and we're really good about breaking down our revenue goals, right? We know exactly how much we need to make every day, every week, every month in order to meet our revenue goal for the year, but it can get lost in the shuffle because we feel like we're in the grind as entrepreneurs, because we're not just doing revenue generation, especially for solopreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. There's somebody who's a solopreneur or has a very small business with maybe only 5 or 10 employees plays a lot of roles. And so those small daily celebrations and looking back and being able to say, hey, look, this is what I accomplished. These were my achievements. I think that's fantastic. And I really want to just point out, if you are not taking notes and you are watching or listening, this is something to write down. Like, the morning routine is key. And Jennifer just talked about the things that she does every day to set herself for success. And I stress that as well. I'm very big on morning routines. And if you're looking for a morning routine and you're like, I don't know about all this, I don't know if you're familiar, Jennifer, but I read The Miracle Morning, years ago. Mm-hmm. And I've been following that. And just a few minutes of movement and meditation and reading, I mind feed, and journaling, like doing a little bit of each activity sets me up for success. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of what you do, I do as well. And the one thing that I do every day without fail before I start my business day is write, what are the 3 top priorities in my business? And how am I going to address each of those today? And that way I can check it off at the end of the day and say, okay, yes, I did work on this, I did work on this, and I did work on this. So it ties in really nicely to mm-hmm. your celebrations, right? Mm-hmm. So if we prioritize what's most important for us in our business, if we're in growth, it's what are those revenue generating activities? If we need more leads, it's how am I showing up on social media? Am I consistent in my brand? What does my marketing look like? But putting those down on paper and then addressing them first and foremost before I do anything else with my day, that has been one of my keys to success personally. So I'm really glad we talked about this. And if you're watching and you don't have a morning routine, I cannot stress enough how important it is to start your day off right. Get in a habit that's going to set you up for success. Because if you start on the right foot and you start with a positive mindset, then you're going to see things are going to go a lot more smoothly for you. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I honestly don't know the answer to this. Jennifer and I have had many conversations, so I know a lot of things, but I don't know this, and I'm really curious. You do meditation. You mentioned meditation. Do you also do mental rehearsal before you do, for example, business meetings or mm-hmm. negotiations or those kind of things? And what does that look like? Can you walk us through that?
Sure. I actually do. I'm a big fan of visualization. And manifesting by visualizing. Now, sometimes when I say manifesting, you might think woo-woo, no, I'm about where the woo-woo meets the work. And so the woo-woo part of that is the visualization. So I'll get to the business meeting in just a second, but I have a vision board. And if you don't vision board, I have some great resources for you. We're going to actually talk to one of my friends, Mel Wells, about vision boarding for business and what that looks like. But I have a vision board. And so I take time to visualize that vision board and different aspects of that board, because of course it reflects my business, my personal life, my relationship with my husband, my personal health and things like that. So it's I love to spend time in visualization, and generally I'm doing that after I meditate. So there's some science that has proven that meditation brings the frequency of your brainwaves down into the perfect place, that when you're done meditating is supposed to be the perfect time to spend time visualizing and really feeling into where you want to be in that next stage in your life. So I do that. But then to your point, spending so many years in the corporate world, I had to present in front of big community meetings and big board meetings and, sometimes just really challenging decision-making meetings with an executive team. And so mental rehearsal for me is really important. You asked me to kind of break down the process. I think about what the objective of the meetings is going to be. I think about objections that I'm going to hear and how I'm going to answer that. And then I mentally rehearse those. If I'm making a presentation, I'm mentally rehearsing that presentation before I go on, but usually for a couple of days before. And then same thing if it's going to be a discussion. How could this go? What are some ways that it could go kind of off the rails or go in an unexpected way, and how would I answer? And so I do think that mental preparation is a really important characteristic to have as a business leader.
Yeah, and I think too, when we're mentally rehearsing, we're also setting ourselves up for success. We're learning strategic thinking, right? Mm-hmm. And you mentioned something, and we talked about mental rehearsal before, like a big meeting. Mm-hmm. But when you're thinking about the objections, and this is something we do in sales, and when we train in sales, right? We think about all the objections people have to why not to do business with us. And we can come up with those answers, and we can mentally rehearse them and actually role play them and physically rehearse them after. We can see the successful delivery and then practice the successful delivery. And that's the mental reps and the physical reps, just like what we do with athletes, right? You have to put in the reps. Like football players don't show up on Sunday not having practiced any of the plays or run any of the plays all week long. They've practiced everything and practice it to the point where it's just something that they can lean back on, because sometimes you're in a meeting and it's stressful. And if it's stressful and you've done the mental practice and you've done the role playing, then you have that to fall back on. And even if you're in a state of stress, you can just deliver like this. And you don't have to think about it anymore. Yeah. And so I really love having that incorporated. So thank you for breaking that down for us. So we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about path to profitability. We've talked a little bit about finding opportunity no matter what's happening in the environment, and really creating our own economy by finding those opportunities. We've talked about the mental mindset, the positive mindset, and gratitude and morning routine, and how to shift that. Let's talk about your day goes off the rails. Mm-hmm. Totally off the rails. You just get off of a call. Things are falling apart, because let's face it, in business, there's fires. They happen all the time. You have an unhappy client. Maybe somebody's like something really horrible just happened, and you're in that kind of negative space. Mm-hmm. How do you shift from that negative to positive? Do you have like a 30-second or a 60-second practice or something you do that can just flip that switch and get you back into that positive mindset?
Yes. And usually a couple things, but if it's something where I can go out and take a walk in nature, if it's a nice day and I can go walk for 10 minutes around the block, I do that, because that's an immediate mind shift for me. When I'm outside and I have fresh air and I can look at the flowers and the birds, that definitely shifts it for me. If I can't do that, I try to take a couple of minutes to go back to my meditation practice. So meditation can ground me at any time. I don't often do it in the middle of the day unless I really need to, and it can be as quick as 5 or 10 minutes and have the desired effect. So absolutely. And while we're talking about your day going off the rails, I thought you were going in a different direction here, but the thing something I'd like to point out about being an entrepreneur is we have to make sure that we have strategic time set in our business to work on those business building activities, some of which we've already talked about. It can be everything from analyzing that SWOT analysis that I talked about, or your dashboards, or making new contacts, making business pitches, networking. Those kinds of things I consider strategic business building opportunities. And as operators of our business, it's really easy to wake up and just operate in the business every single day and serve the clients and deliver the goods and deliver the services. But the reality is, if you're a CEO of your business, you need to plan that CEO time. And it should be anywhere between, it should be about 20% of your week. So I like to say 4 to 8 hours every single week. I like to do my CEO time in the Monday morning and Friday afternoon. And so I don't book anything else in those times so that I can still get that work done even when the wheels come off sometimes, as you mentioned.
You know, we are definitely two peas in the pods. I do the CEO bookend too. I like to start my week with my CEO time and end my week, because when we do that, we can reflect and we say, and this is something that's really key too. A lot of times in a time where we look at all the things that we didn't get accomplished or what didn't go well, but I always start with what went well this week and what do I want to carry forward in my CEO time. And then I look at what didn't go well, and I don't perseverate on all the things. I pick what's the one thing that's going to be the 1-degree course correction for next week that I'm going to do differently, better, or that I'm going to make sure I don't repeat in a mistake. And then you said that I love that you have that time set aside, and it just brought to mind that things go off the rails. Have a time for that in your calendar too. I call it white space, and I have literally got white space every day in my calendar because I know, and I have multiple businesses, so some businesses might have an amazing day and something could go very wrong in another. So I make sure I have white space to deal with whatever fire comes up, because as a CEO of our business, the buck stops with us when we own the business. Whether we're partnering or whatnot, we have to be that, we have that responsibility. And so scheduling that white space has been so incredibly critical. And a lot of times you deal with the fire, and then I take my reset and I do the same thing as you. I change my environment. If you change your physical space, you can get out. If it's something that's happening on the computer, I'm not a fan of tech. No surprise to anyone. Tech is not my friend. But if it's a tech situation, just closing the computer and getting into my body and doing something physiologically, changing the physiology to change the psychology is something that's got a ton of research behind it. And I think it's very powerful. And it doesn't even have to be 10 minutes. It could be 2. It could be a 2-minute break where you're just getting the blood flowing. And just that is enough to shift that psychology as well, because we're no longer focusing in on what was causing us that stress or strife. So I want to take it to a little bit of a higher level when we talk about this, because we are in economic turmoil. We're in an economic downturn right now, and a lot of people have not experienced this. I know you and I have both experienced this in our careers already, but there's a lot of people who have been new to entrepreneurship and have not yet experienced this level of adversity. I mean, we have lots of inflation, costs are high, lending and capital is tight, consumers are tightening their belts. Now we're not fighting against people in our industry. That's not our competition. Our competition might be the gas pump or the grocery store for many of the end consumers, especially for the B2C companies. So when you're dealing with your clients and they're all struggling in this space, and you're holding that space, because make no mistake, when we're a consultant or a coach, we have to be that resource for our clients. So when all of our clients are going through these challenges and it's a sustained stressful situation, how are you able to maintain the positive energy and also help them to maintain that positive energy so they can continue to go? Because this is challenging and we have to get up and grind. So how are you able to do that, and how are you able to facilitate that for your clients?
Yeah, well, it is holding space and listening and understanding what the challenges are, but also what the fears are that are underlying those. So from, a true strategic and operational perspective, we're going to look at, again, the revenue. Is it where they want it to be, and how can we shift it even in a trying time to get more revenue in, if that's a challenge. We're always going to be taking a good look at expenses. So I'm a productivity nerd, but it comes from working in healthcare and grocery where margins are slim, and you have to be on point with the expenses and in staff or labor in those cases. And so we're always going to take a look at expenses and make sure that all of our spending is appropriate. And it's just a matter again of putting the blinders on and working the plan. But the plan has to be solid, and the plan can shift, as we talked about at the very beginning of this episode. The plan can shift to take advantage of new opportunities. So it's a constant review of our business. So I'm big on dashboards, and I think you are too, Jen. I love metrics that really tell us what's happening in our business so that we can make those quick pivots, and then a constant scan of the environment around us. And that's every day of the year, again, recession or not. So I try to keep people really out of the negative mindset around the recession. We know the economy's cyclical, and yes, this is a painful period, but it will rebound. So let's just keep building and be stronger when the rebound occurs.
Absolutely. And I look at this, and something that I tell my clients is, you're doing the work right now. If you're showing up right now and you're doing the work and you're continuing to persist and you're doing everything that you just said, you know, you're looking at the plan, you're making the small tweaks that you needed to make, you're looking for the opportunities. If you're the one showing up and doing the work, a lot of other people are pulling back, and we're positioning ourselves to not only survive, but thrive. Mm-hmm. And this is an opportunity for us to grow our business in a time when everybody else is a little bit scared. We do have to take another quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Some lenders fit all their clients into one box, the one that makes them the most money.
Some realtors push all their clients toward the same house, the one that is paying an extra bonus to the selling agent.
Some lenders promise the world but don't deliver results, potentially leaving the clients homeless.
Some realtors don't have the patience for first-time homebuyers or sellers, and it shows.
Hi, I'm David Floyd, realtor with eXp, and I've worked with many lenders and could write a book full of the horror stories.
Hi, I'm Joanne Cooper, loan officer with First Nationwide Mortgage, and I've worked with many realtors, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You would be amazed at what can go wrong without the right person on your team.
When it comes to referring my clients to a lender who will work hard to get them what they need and to the closing table on time, it's always Joanne Cooper.
When it comes to knowing my clients are being taken care of by their realtor and will end up with the perfect home, I have full confidence in David Floyd delivering every time. Together, our clients receive the service they fully deserve, plus have access to our other preferred service providers for even more value.
Your best position in buying today is being pre-qualified, so call us today.
As a critical aspect of your operations, you need the right technology partner to provide you and your business the peace of mind of having reliable and efficient IT systems. In addition, with cyber threats, ransomware at an all-time high, adequate, continuous, and proactive data protection for your business is an absolute must. Hi, this is Roland Parker with Impress Computer Solutions. We are experts in tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. Additionally, we have the know-how and horsepower to do the correct procuring of any and all computer systems or software your company may need. Having the correct IT infrastructure and not being able to operate safely and correctly is very expensive and can eventually destroy growth. So take a decisive step and call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-647-9977 for your unique IT needs.
Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet, your fearless host. And if you're just tuning in, We have been talking about amazing stuff to set your business for success, to recession-proof your business and your life. And you can catch the first 2 segments on nowmedia.tv if you go to the show, Power CEOs, or you can catch us on all the pod formats. But we're going to dive back in. We were talking about setting yourself for success. We talked a little bit about morning routine and how when we set our morning and our day up for success, we have a lot easier flow. We talked about scheduling in some white space and calendaring our day so that we have the time. We have our CEO time. We have the time to do the other things we need to do in our business, and we have that white space for when things come up. And Jennifer and I were talking in the break, and she shared with me that she had some resources for you guys on the website. So Jennifer, talk a little bit about the resources that you have and share, because some people do just listen, share with them where they can get that.
You bet. So our website is Peak to Profit, P-E-A-K, to Profit, not the number 2, T-O, profit.com. And there's a tab up there that says freebies. And I have a couple different freebies in there, and a lot of them are focused on entrepreneurial productivity. And so, again, I'm a huge fan of morning and evening routines, and so I do have a freebie on morning and evening routines. And then I also have a Win the Week planner. And the beauty of this weekly planning system, you can do it on Friday as you're closing down your business week. I like to do it on Sunday night, but it really helps me understand where I'm going to have that white space in my calendar, or if I have big tasks that I have to accomplish, specifically if I'm creating content or I need really deep work time, I can see where my appointments are and kind of program that into my weekly flow. And then I'm also considering, as Jen said, what's going well, what's not working, what do I have to tweak in my routine, and as well as the big tasks that I have to get done that week, my big 3 for the week. And I also do a big 3 for the day like Jen does. So we're aligned in a lot of ways in that way. So those resources are on the website. Please go out there and enjoy them. And they actually include fillable PDFs that you can use for that weekly planner.
That's fantastic, and I know I love resources as well, so please take advantage of that if you're watching this. It's incredible when you're able to set up your day, your week, and your month for success, because what gets measured gets managed. And Jennifer and I were talking a lot in the break about some of the things that we wish we would have known when we got started. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to go ahead and ask you, for the benefit of our audience, because we do have several people who are thinking about going into entrepreneurship, or maybe they're side gigging and they're thinking about leaving corporate and moving into full-time entrepreneurship. So what is one thing that you know now that you wish you would have known when you first got started?
Well, I think, and I've been an entrepreneur a couple different times in my career, and this time it kind of hit me right smack in the head that the importance of mindset. And we talked about it earlier, but I don't want to make it just a minor point in our session. Mindset, I believe, is responsible for 90% of our leadership success. And that's no matter what we're doing, but particularly when we're running our own business. And so, we need to just be really confident in what we can provide. We need to remove those fears and blocks, even, with the help of a coach or a therapist, whatever's appropriate, so that we can be at our best and just really deliver on the things that we need to deliver. And that includes having a strategy. So the importance of mindset this time is really taking me by storm. And so that's why I focus so much of it in my content on a weekly basis, because I think it's so important for us. And one other thing I'll say, we talked about the importance of a coach and how a coach can help with that. Community can help with that. So being a member of a mastermind or a membership where other like-minded entrepreneurs are there and pumping each other up, even networking with other small business owners on a regular basis will help you to see that you're not alone in this and that you can be successful.
Absolutely. I can't underestimate the importance of mastermind. I'm in a couple of masterminds at all times myself, and I make sure to put myself in the masterminds with people who are far more advanced than me, because then I can learn, and it's really a good culture and learning ground and opportunity for me to add to them, but also to learn from them. If you're thinking about this and you're like, what is a mastermind? I don't even know what that is. Reach out to me. Jen Gaudet at jengaudetcoaching.com is my email. You can go to my website, jengaudetcoaching.com, because I offer masterminds myself, or I'd be more than happy to share some of the masterminds that I'm a part of, because like you, Jennifer, I completely agree the importance of community and having those people who are in the same arena as us, because as entrepreneurs, we don't get a W-2 paycheck every other week, no matter what. And we feel like we do a lot of work, and sometimes it's a delayed gratification, or we have to make sure that we feed our staff, our teams, we pay our vendors. Everybody gets paid before we get paid when we're entrepreneurs. And so I think it's very important to have that community of entrepreneurs specifically who can help you to stretch and grow. And now I'm going to ask you a little bit more deep question, because some of our entrepreneurs are hitting scale. I mean, we've had people who invest, we have multiple businesses, many people kind of like ourselves who have been in it for a while, and we're hitting the next level scale. So what is that one thing that our clients who are hitting scale in their business, or they're about to, or they're looking for that growth, what is the one thing that you would say right now, with everything that's going on, could be your action step today?
Well, if you are hitting scale, if you're actually seeing some success in your business, I would ask yourself a couple of questions. First is everything that I do in my business, does it light me up? And am I the best person to do it? There are lots of entrepreneurs who get good at many things in their business, but they're probably not the best to do it. And sometimes entrepreneurs have a real hard time letting go of certain tasks and delegating or bringing in team members. And so, again, this is a constant activity. It's not just a one-time thing, but especially at scale, we need to make sure that the entrepreneur is holding on to only those activities that they want to. And many times, this may shock some, but when you are a founding CEO, you may not be the best scaling CEO. And so if you're truly going to scale, you might need to look at an operator who can really dial your business in, again, to those most productive standards and to the most efficient model, so that it can truly scale.
I think that's really key and excellent advice. I mean, like I can speak from experience. I know I'm not the ops, I'm not the COO. That is not my role ever. I'm the vision, I'm the strategy, yes. I'm able to figure that out and get the parts in place, but I'm not the person who's best to do the parts. And having that COO has been key to my scaling success. And so know your role, know what it is that are your strengths, and what is I call it the 4%, right? There's the 80-20 rule, and then within that 20% that brings 80% result, there's another 80-20, which gives you 4%. And I'm all about find your 4%. What is the 4% that lights your soul on fire? You're amazing at it, and that is the skill set that you have to grow your business and hire out the rest. So I really love that you brought that up. That was super fantastic. So unfortunately, all amazing things do come to an end, and we're drawing near the end of our episode. So Jennifer, if you would please let our viewers and listeners know, how can they reach you if they'd like to learn more about strategy, operations, some of the amazing things that we discussed today?
Yes. So as I mentioned, my website is peak2profit.com. And so you can find all of my contact information there. You can follow me on different social media platforms. My email is jennifer@peak2profit.com. So that's pretty simple. And I would love to talk to anybody with questions. And this work lights me up. So it's really exciting to help other entrepreneurs be successful.
Thank you so much for joining us. And in case you don't remember, we started this episode with Path to Profitability, and Jennifer does have a workshop coming up. What was the date of that workshop?
July 26th.
Yep, so you can find that on her website as well. And you, yes, you, I'm talking to you now, all my amazing viewers and listeners. You have been here for this episode. We have had all kinds of amazing topics that we discussed. Everything to set yourself for success and to create your own economy, no matter what's happening in the greater economy. But knowledge is only a small part of the equation. Implementation is where the magic happens. And so you have to decide today to take one action, one thing that you heard today, whether it was setting your day up for success with a morning routine, building white space into your calendar for those fires that inevitably come up, whether it's finding your quickest path to profitability or having a plan. Something that you heard today, I want you to put into action right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Because when we take that action, we make that 1% change that ultimately is going to change the trajectory of our business and grow our business. So I encourage you to do that, whether it's your health or your business or your life. Take that action today. And until we see you again, we'll be here same time, same station next week. Go win today, win this week, and we'll see you next Monday.
This has been a Now Media Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.